to give a motion. I will be ready to receive that motion as we go in order here. Financial Secretary report is first, and then we'll go down the line. The written reports are down to the Awana report. So first one in your packet should be the Financial Secretary report as submitted by Fred Spiker. So I'll receive your motion when you're ready. Bill Hall moves that we accept as shown. Do I have a second? Lance Outerkirk. Thank you, Lance. Any questions or discussion on the Financial Secretary report? If not, all in favor of accepting this report as shown, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion carries. The next one is the Church Treasurer's report as submitted by Mike Eccleston. I'll give you a few moments there, and I'm ready to receive your motion when ready to accept the report as shown. All right, I have Jim Arts makes the motion. Brent seconds to accept as shown. Any questions or discussion on the Church Treasurer's reports or questions? If not, all in favor of accepting the report as shown, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion carries. Missions Treasurer's report. Again, I'm willing to accept your motion to accept the report as shown when you're ready to give me a motion. All right, Rose Hall moves that we accept as shown. Do I have a second? Jane Gray. Thank you, Jane. Any questions or discussion on the Missionary Treasurer's report as submitted by Rose Eccleston? If not, all in favor of accepting the report as shown, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Appreciate Heather being willing to take over the Awana Secretary Treasurer's job this year, and she has submitted a third quarter report. Once again, I'm willing to accept your motion when you're ready. All right, Rose Eccleston moves that we accept as shown. Do I have a second? Rose Hall. Thank you, Rose. Any questions or discussion on the Awana Secretary report? Not all in favor of accepting the report as shown, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion carries. All right, youth report. I will throw my 2 cents in. I'll let Denise throw in hers. We've had a good spirit in there. I feel we have good teenagers. And talking about the youth group now, Living Hope. I'm not in the other ones, so some of you others will have to speak up about your various groups. But I come in to preach to the teenagers. Seems like there's been a good spirit, and with the Walk Right kids in there, they've been helping out and doing a good job. We've been able to meet with the Walk Right kids, with the deacons, and they've been able to give us their testimonies. We've got one more testimony to hear, and we'll be done with that. They've done a good job, and we appreciate their spirit. They're coming with the idea of helping out in the ministry and learning and being involved. So that's been good. Our deacons have been able to hear their testimonies, and of course we want to do that as anybody who ministers here, we want to make sure we know who they are, know their testimony of salvation, and know they want to serve the Lord. And so that's been good. Other than that, we've had good breakaways. Lance has been getting things together with those, and they had one last month over at the Coaston's Back 40 horseback riding. I heard a lot about that. I heard they enjoyed the horses, and the Lord gave good weather, even though it didn't look like it was going to be. And so that was a good time that's what I know about the teen group. Denise, do you know anything more that you want to add to that? Okay, good. Brother Mike, you got anything for Wana? Yeah. Good. And Jane, how about you? Yeah. We are, it is a prayer request. We've had a hard time finding where the kids are. So, like even for Bible school and things, a lot of the kids, pockets of kids we used to go to are now older families. So we're trying to ask the Lord to show us where the kids are, and I think it's important. So that is a prayer request that you would do that. But the kids sometimes know where the kids are, so that's a prayer request as well, that they would just by word of mouth get their friends to come, and that would work out well. The other thing I would have to share on the youth report is the youth camp scholarship. Always every year they earn scholarship to camp. Of course, that's costs money. It's the faithful giving from God's people here that provide that. We appreciate your giving. I think the fund this year is, from what I remember of the meeting, our deacons meeting is starting out at least not in arrears, which will help us this year. So we appreciate your faithful giving in that department. And I'm sure Fred might be able to share some more on that later, but I wanted to say I appreciate that. That's an important part of our youth programs, a goal that we can give the kids to work for, as well as just going to camp itself is wonderful for some of these kids to be able to spend a week at Christian camp and hear the Word of God day after day and be exposed with that. So, all right. Anybody else have any questions or comments about the youth? If you're willing to share that, we appreciate all of you who are involved there, helpers, leaders, teachers. Takes a lot of work to do that. So, all right. This time we'll have Brother Fred come and share the deacon's report.
Good evening. Always like to start out with mentioning that we need to continue to pray for our pastor and his family. That's where everything starts in this church, and that's what we need to do. Also pray for the deacon board, and maybe this quarter specifically try to think more about the shut-ins that we have in this church. They're not always here, and we may forget about them sometimes, but I think we need to pray for them, particularly keep them in mind this quarter, okay? Accomplishments this last quarter. Kind of a quiet quarter, which is nice. The Iwana program's off. You've heard the report on from the youth report. It's very nice having the Walk Right kids here, or students, not kids. Well, they're not here, I can say kids. We had a very successful missions conference. Do you know what the total was for the Faith Promise we met our goal, it was over our goal. It was over 10,500, that's a great praise. Had a very productive fall work day. We got a lot of stuff done around the church, fantastic. And the general fund, if you notice that in the treasurer's report, we held our own in the general fund. The deacon board was a little worried about that going through July and August. July and August were kind of lean. September was a very good month. We had 5 Sundays in the month, but it was a very good month. Brought us back up to where we're a little bit above where we were the year before, or the quarter before. So just a little bit of growth. Okay, financial needs. Maintenance fund. We started out with a deficit between the boiler fund and the maintenance fund of around $2,000. That has come down to a deficit of about $1,200. We're working our way through that situation. Anybody see or feels compelled to help contribute towards that directly, that would be great. We can get that deficit taken care of. So it's both a praise and a continued prayer request. We do have funds that we transfer into that fund every month, and we spend out of that fund whatever we need to, and so hopefully it will continue to dwindle down over time. New Van Ministries Fund. That's kind of a fun one to watch a little bit for me. Basically, we started out with some money from the VBS program into that fund, and we now transfer monies into that fund on a monthly basis and spend whatever is necessary to maintain our vans, our gas, etc. That fund is almost $1,900 now. It's not bad. It's kind of a far cry from what we need for a replacement van. I'm not going to say a new van, because that's probably not on our horizon, but a replacement van. We have one in particular, but we have kind of an older fleet. One we're going to park as much as we can and try to keep it alive just for BBS. But that's a little scary too. Camp Scholarship Fund, we are off to a good start in the Camp Scholarship Fund. We had a nice gift there. It's not enough to cover all of our needs, but it's a good start towards next year's fund. Last on my list, finally, if there's anything else that you need of myself or any member of the deacon board, please tell us. We don't know everything that's going on. So if there's anything we can do for you or I can do for you, let us know. And any suggestions for the deacon board or for myself, please let me know. That's all I have.
Thank you, Fred. Going down to items of new business. We do this every year. The deacons recommend that we reaffirm the IFBFM preamble and constitution. It actually has undergone a few changes, not substantive changes, not doctrinal changes, simply changes that had to do with making it up to date, considering what we are practicing today. The chief change was changing it, a word from the word association to the word fellowship. That word appeared in the Constitution several times. Other than that, one word on the very bottom, the preamble has not changed, and the Constitution has changed in that we've added the walk right there, we've added Baptist builders, and we've taken out some things that we no longer were viable practicing things. They used to have a layman's committee and a women's committee, and those were not meeting, and so they have done away with those. There were 4 things in the Constitution, and those 2 things were replaced by the walk right and the Baptist builders, and a description of those basically. So that briefly describes the changes that were made. All right, so I'm going to wait for your motion to reaffirm this preamble and constitution. All right, Fred moves that we affirm. Do I have a second? Robin, thank you. Do I have any questions or discussion about that? If you want a copy, I can give it to you. Denise? Well, the Walk Right is on there as a, well, you could say a ministry of Kolbiak. And as a, it's basically, the Constitution made it clear, whereas it wasn't made clear before, first of all, that Camp Kolbiak is owned by the IFBFM. That needed to be done. And then secondly, that Walk Right is a part of the IFBFM and of Camp Kolbiak. Actually, Camp Kolbiak is the first ministry, and Walk Right is a ministry of, the main ministry is Kolbiak. That's always our main focus, is the camp ministry at Kolbiak. That's why Camp Kolbiak exists. And Walk Right is a ministry of Camp Kolbiak, and it can be a help there to the camp and to what's going on. What we didn't want was for the Walk Right to start being the main focus there. And so Walk Right is important, but it's under the camp ministry there. Any other questions? If not, all in favor of reaffirming the IFBFM preamble and Constitution, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the next sign, and the motion carries, or the same sign, motion carries. All right, then letter B, deacons recommend that Hope Baptist Church sends Jim Arts, Amanda Hall, Rose Hall, and Greg Neeb as official messengers to the IFBFM annual meeting. It says AM, but that's not right. Change that to an F. Annual meeting on October 30th, 2012. Do I have a motion to send them as official messengers? All right, Bill Hall, thank you. Do I have a second? All right, Lance over here. Do I have any questions or discussion? Not, all in favor of sending these four as our official messengers for the meeting, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the same. Motion carries. All right, we need the election results. Brother Fred's going to come and share those here with us. You got one sheet that tells me what's going on. Okay. Okay. The top two. Okay. All right, here we go. It was Nick and Tuck, but we have Mike Eccleston, Robin Outerkirk, Greg Neeb, and Fred Spiker as our 4 new terms of deacons, and Mary Neeb as our new deaconess. So we're thankful to her for being willing to serve in that capacity. Office of Church Clerk, Julie continues in that office. Financial Secretary, it transfers from Fred to Peggy, and stays right in the family where we like to keep it. And then Missions Treasurer, Rose Eccleston. Office of Sunday School Superintendent will continue to be Lance. Assistant Sunday School Superintendent is a new one, Bill Hall. And so he's going to come under Lance and work together with us, and that'll be good. And then Office of Sunday School Secretary, Heather will continue in that position, and then Nominating Committee Member Jim Arts and Bill Hall are our nominating committee members. So we will, at the annual meeting, there will be a sheet of appointments and offices, so you'll have this somewhere where you can refer to it. But we want to let you know what's going on. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Robin. By the way, I saw Robin back there raising his hand. Norma is not here. Joan had a chance to talk with Norma today, and the news is that she's greatly improved, feels a lot better, playing games with the family, and all of that. And so that's a good news to hear. She's eating well, so that's a praise. Continue to pray for Norma. We miss her, but Lord willing, she can get over some of this stuff and get back to church. That's what we'd like to see, and get back with us here, and get back feeling better and being used of the Lord in that way. So pray for Norma, but that's a praise. Do I have a second? All right, Kelly. Kelly, a reluctant second. Yeah. All right. Do I, let's see, all in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, the same, and motion carries.